good people. Yes, I'm back home. It's about 7 something and I decided to shoot this video before I take a quick shower, and I want to share with you this story because there are a couple of people who've been asking me, how's Tisha? Did I get to tell Tisha? And if you're wondering who's Tisha, so on my last story time I spoke about narrow escape from rape, yes, and I spoke a little bit about the lady who introduced me, my friend who introduced me to this guy. And yeah, so people have been asking me, there are a couple of messages I've received that what happened to Tisha, are we still friends? And of course you've seen the title, she lied to me, but in general she was a good person. So anyway, let's go back to the beginning, how this friendship started, which I explained a little bit on my last video. What's up guys, how are you doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for coming. If you're my returning subscriber, I'm sending you kisses, and I'm also sending you some warm hugs. So a few years back, like not even a few but many years back, yes, I met this chick and I met her in class, and that time I was going for computer classes, as I explained in that last story time, and it was during exam time when I met Tisha. And Tisha was this person who never used to like studying and all that, so I was able to help her with the exams. I was able to do the exam for her after finishing mine. So what happened is after meeting Tisha, we became very close friends. After that exam room, we became very close friends, and we were always hanging out together. And as I mentioned last time, that I was really struggling at that time when I met Tisha, and I felt like Tisha came through for me in each and everything, and I thank God for her. And I feel like God just sent Tisha in my life at that particular time because I really needed someone. I was really struggling in this city, like nilikuwa tu nimesota, yani I was just struggling. I didn't have money. I was on the streets, and I was living with people who, you know, when someone provides for you a place to stay, you can't be going there and asking them, well, would you please help me with transportation to school because I'm going to school. So I didn't want to bother the people I was staying with, and Tisha just came through, and she came through for me big time. So yes, we used to go to places with Tisha, like in terms of buying clothes. We could go party together. We used to even go out together. And whenever we went out, of course I was having these guys maybe hitting on me, and there were guys hitting on her. You know, we were young and we had energy and we were just enjoying our lives. And I even remember like taking Tisha, like the time I went to visit some of my cousins, and I remember going with Tisha, and she was nice, she was loyal, and I used to share every single detail with her, like in terms of course my family, in terms of all those, you know, everything. When I say everything, I mean every single thing. Yes, I trusted her so much, and because she was that person, like she was my best friend that particular time, I was like, you know what, there's nothing I could hide from her. So I remember one day I asked Tisha that, where do you always get money for, you know, because she used to come in school with a lot of money. And when I say a lot of money, I mean 1,000 shillings is $10, and 1,000 shillings was a lot of money then. And she used to give me part of it, like transportation for going home and then coming back the next day, and still buy me food. So I used to ask her, where are you getting all this money, like every single day? And they were new, like they were always, you know, like they were always new, and just, you know. And she used to tell me that she's getting from the father, and I was like, oh, your dad is so nice, blah blah blah. And then she told me that she even mentioned to the father about me, that there's this girl from school, blah blah blah, that we're friends, blah blah blah, and she's really struggling. So the father used to give her money so that she can give me some, so that I can, you know, survive on these streets. I used to ask, where's your mom, blah blah blah, and all that, and she was like, the mom passed away, the mom is not there. And then she also told me that, I asked about the sibling, she told me that she has a brother or something like that, and I think she's the eldest or something, like, if I remember well, she told me that she's the elder one, like she's the firstborn in their family. So I was like, oh, nice. So Tisha is from Machakos County. Yes, their home is in the Machakos County, so that's where she came from. And yeah, so that's their village. Now, we were friends for so long until Tisha moved out, because I remember when she used to tell me that she's staying with the father. They were staying somewhere not too far from CBD, by the way, and I never went to visit them at home, but she was always coming to my cousins and where I was staying at that particular time. And even this father, I never met the father. So during that friendship of ours, after a year, she decided to move. She told me that the dad got some work, I don't know, somewhere, and the dad had to move to some, like, outside Nairobi, and the dad had to go and work outside Nairobi, so she has to look for a house where she can stay. Mimi ni nani, of course I helped Tisha looking for a house. We went shopping because I was excited. I was really excited, and it was the first time. By that time I was staying with someone, so I wasn't staying alone. So I was really excited about her having her own place, because it was going to be like kind of my place, you know, because we hung out a lot, and I'm like, if you go partying, you know, I can always come back to your house. So I was super excited for Tisha, and we went shopping, buying for things. I remember going to Isili, I remember going to Kamkunji. If you know where Kamkunji is, we were getting the plates, blah blah, everything. That was like a year after we started our friendship. So she moved to that house. I was like, oh, of course the dad was going to pay the rent and all that. The dad just told her to find a house, because remember, Tisha's mom is not alive. Tisha's mom passed away, or rather is dead. So yeah, so that happened like that. And yeah, so we used to just go and chill after class in Tisha's house. We used to even go with our boyfriends then in that particular house. And yeah, so life was good. Then fast forward to, I don't know, after school, of course we all finished school. I went to another college. She went to Nairobi Aviation, yes, I remember. And yeah, so she was doing something else. I was doing journalism, mass communication. She was doing something else in Nairobi Aviation. So at that particular time, I never used to hang around her a lot, because now when I went to college, of course I started getting some other friends in that school that I was, and she was also getting other friends there, but we still used to link up over the weekends and just catch up. And you know, of course, because we are from the same, I mean, we all, our classes were all within CBD, so we were always linking up over lunch hour. Imagine all this time she was still giving me money from the dad. Yes, so she was still buying me lunch over lunch hour. She was still giving me money, you know, like she was that friend. I don't know, like she was so good, like she was the sweetest, like in terms of, she used to come through for me big time, big time. So anyway, I think I like using this word, big time. I don't know. So I remember she disappeared for like I think 3 months, then came back. When she came back, she told me that, I don't know, she had gone CG to where, CG blah blah blah, I don't know, there's just something that happened in between there. Then after that, she moved now from where she was staying. That time I'd also moved out, so I was living in South B. I'd moved to South B at that particular time. So she also moved out. When I moved out, she moved out from where she was staying and went to stay somewhere else. And now where she went to stay was, I think, a 1-bedroom or something like that. One day, now I've decided to fast forward completely, like I think 3 years later. Yes. So this dad called me. Tisha's dad. It was like I'd not spoken to Tisha for like 2 weeks when the dad called me. And when I saw the call, because Tisha used to call the dad sometimes using my number, so I'd saved the dad's number on my phone as Tisha's dad. So I saw Tisha's dad calling me. So I thought, because I didn't speak to Tisha for like 2 weeks, I thought maybe it's Tisha calling me. And when I answered the call, guess who called? It's Tisha's dad. Like now the dad was the one on the phone. So I was like, hey, and then he said, hey, and then I'm calling you, and I don't know if you know who I am, but I know maybe you might hear from your friend Tisha, and Tisha has mentioned that I'm the dad and blah blah blah. So anyway, he just introduced himself. He asked me, where are you? And then I said I was at home. And then he told me, what are you doing tomorrow? Can we link up for lunch? I was like, it was a bit weird, but I didn't know what it was all about. So I didn't know, because remember, I've not been in touch with Tisha for like 2 weeks. So I just said, okay, fine. I went and met Tisha's dad, and I got there. So when I met him, of course, he told me to order for food. Mimi ni nani, I love food. You know, I just love food. So of course I ordered for food. It was over lunch hour. I mean, you know, when you're living alone, when you find such opportunities where people are inviting you over for lunch, you're always like, yeah, at least I'm not going to cook. And again, in terms of, you're really struggling with, you know, like you're trying to hustle here and there, so you can save that money for lunch and use it on something else. So I was super happy. And yeah, so anyway, I ordered for food. So as I was eating, I was almost finishing. He didn't order for food, he was drinking some juice. So he started saying that, so I'm here to tell you that your friend Tisha has been lying to you. I am not the father. I am not Tisha's father, as she mentioned to you. I am the husband. You know, I was like, like you're the husband. And then it was like, yes, I'm the husband. You know, I was You know, guys, we were friends for over 3 years. This someone was so close to me, and I used to tell like so many things, and I trusted her with so many things. And she was also telling me stuff, so I didn't know. Anyway, yeah, so anyway, let's go back to the situation here. So I was like, I'm the husband, I'm not the father. So I was just, you know, I was shocked, because I didn't expect that. All this time I knew that was the father, you know, as much as I never met this guy, by the way, and I never went to Tisha's father's house, you know. I didn't go all this time until the only time I started visiting Tisha is when she was moving out, and when she moved, when we were looking for that house. And yeah, so before that, I never used to go to where she was coming from, where she was staying in their father's house. So anyway, after he told me that, I was just shocked, and I was like, how can she lie to me like all this time? I thought you were the father for real. And then I asked, like, explain, like, you know, I mean, like, what are you trying to say? After I even stopped eating, like, I was just like listening, but thank God I was almost finishing. So yeah, I didn't leave any, like, a lot of food. So I'm just listening to this guy, and then the guy tells me that. So what I did is, after high school, I went to, of course, I met the mother. You met the mother? You know, Tisha told me that the mom passed away. The mom was not alive. So I was like, you met the mother before the mother died? And then the guy was like, no, the mother is alive. Guys, Anyway, so he said that he went, met the mother, paid dowry, took Tisha, brought her to, of course, Nairobi, and decided to educate her as the wife, you know. So if someone tells you that the dad, of course, it's someone way older and can be a father. Like, he was older, way older than us, like maybe twice our age or even more than that. When he told me all that, then he was like, he was looking really sad. So he went on and was telling me that the reason why he even had to tell me that is because he's been paying every single thing for my friend Tisha, and even rented this house for her in this particular place. And so when he had traveled, because he was working away, that part of Tisha telling me that the dad had transferred somewhere, that was true. He was working away, so that weekend before we met, he had decided to come back to Nairobi and just hang out, like, with Tisha. And when he went to the house, of course, Tisha was there, blah blah blah. But remember, guys, every time we used to go out with Tisha, we always had our boyfriends, our young boyfriends, and Tisha also had a boyfriend, you know. So I knew Tisha's boyfriend, who was young, who was like some guy from, I don't know, Nairobi University. I remember that time I was dating some guy from this school of accountants in Thika Road. What do you call it? This school of KCA, yes. Yeah, I was dating someone from there. And Tisha's boyfriend was from Nairobi Uni. So, I mean, I knew the guy. Anyway, so he told me that. So when he went to visit Tisha, they were just sleeping at night, and then some guy came and started knocking the door, and making a lot of noise. And then finally he opened the door. The guy who was knocking the door was Tisha's boyfriend from Nairobi University. And I know this guy is someone who was so built, and you know. So they decided to fight. He decided to kick this Tisha's father, who is the husband, out of the house. Why am I telling you this story though? For those who ask me about Tisha, if I told Tisha, this is Tisha. Yes, Tisha's story. Yes. So when he was kicked out, of course the neighbors were waking up. It was such a, you know, an older man and all that drama. This is the house you've been paying for. There's nothing Tisha could do. There's nothing Tisha could say. So when he was kicked out, he was just wearing shorts. So he tried to plea with Tisha to just give him his clothes, and Tisha did, passed some trousers and he was wearing, and then he went to look for a hotel and slept. So he told me that, can you imagine your friend did that to me? I was like, okay, I didn't know, like, there's so much, you know, when you're being told many things, you know. So I didn't know what to say anyway. I just said, sorry, I am so sorry, I didn't know that, I didn't see that. I mean, like, I don't know, it's my first time meeting you. So after that meeting with him, I just went home. I didn't know whether to call Tisha and ask Tisha. I went to my house. So the next time, I think after either a few days, I decided to reach out and ask if she was coming to school. And she told me yes. So he said you can link up around 1 after lunch. So we linked up. Do you know, I didn't say anything. Like I didn't ask anything. I just wanted to hear her telling me what happened, because I was like, how was your weekend? How's your dad doing? You know, but I knew the truth. And I didn't ask about the mom at that particular time. I just left everything, you know. So we were just talking about our friends. Like I was asking about the boyfriend, and then she was telling me about the boyfriend and how everything is, because remember we had not seen each other for quite some time. And she was like, oh, I've been busy, we're having exams, blah blah blah, just, you know, many things. So anyway, at that particular time I didn't know anything. I didn't mention at all this whatever. So after that meeting with the father, and the father telling me this stuff, and like our friendship, it wasn't as, we were not as close as we used to, because I didn't know what else she lied to me about. And I just started asking myself, am I such a bad friend? Like, do I make people not feel comfortable around me? And after that, I really try when it comes to, you know, with friends. Like if I keep telling you stuff and you're not giving me any information, I usually start questioning this friendship, and I can't just be the one giving, telling you this, telling you that, and then you don't tell me anything. And in this case, yes, Tisha used to tell me stuff, but they were all, most of them were lies. I don't know, most of them were lies. I only shared this story with one of my friends from my college who was very close to me at that particular time. I just told this friend of mine that how I feel like betrayed. I mean, she's been lying to me, blah 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 blah. But as I said, I questioned myself after that if she was thinking that I was going to judge her, or maybe she wasn't proud of the situation that she was in. So I was like, you know what, she's been so good to me. She was so good to me, and she supported me, like, you know, with like, she really supported me. She was there for me full time, you know. And because of this one mistake of lying to me, it's not going to make me change like how I treat her. So of course we kept on talking, and the other year she disappeared again. I think she changed the number, because she kept on doing that. All this time we were meeting, she didn't mention anything about the father, about the mother. I didn't, even myself here, didn't act as if I knew anything. So we kept on being friends. So she moved from that house, went to a smaller house. Like things started just, you know, things started changing completely, and she started looking for jobs. She dropped out of school, and then after some time, I don't know, she went back again to school. I wasn't in a position to help at that particular time, but of course I kept on just being a friend. And it got to a point she changed her number again. She didn't give me, and she moved out without me knowing where she moved out to. So we did cut wherever. I mean, like, I didn't have a number to reach her. So my camera went off, and I had to like get another bath. So I'm glad, and I'm back here. Yeah, so where was I? Tisha called me a few years later. Tisha called me, and when she called me, of course, we were just catching up. I was asking her how she was doing, and what is she up to. Then she told me that, by the way, I moved out, like I'm no longer in Nairobi, and I'm actually living in Machakos. Then I was like, you're living in Machakos? You moved to Machakos? And then she was like, yeah, I moved to Machakos. And I asked, like, what are you doing? And then she went ahead and told me that, by the way, I have a baby who is almost turning 2. I'm like, hold on. The last time we saw each other, you were pregnant. I didn't know. We just kept on talking. So after saying the way I'm working, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, so can I come and visit you? Because guys, this chick was so good to me, and for so long I was trying to find her and I didn't have a number. So finally she called me. So anyway, I spoke to her and asked her if it's okay for me to go and visit her in Machakos. I was willing to go to Machakos because I'd missed her. Like, I'd not seen her for so long. So I was like, what the hell, what happened to this chick? We agreed on a date with her, and I told her that maybe at the end, after the end month, I'll definitely go and visit. And she told me that when you're ready, just call me on this number and let me know. So when the end month comes, of course, where I was working, remember guys, I was being paid 15,000 Kenya shillings. I took some money after being paid. I took some part of it and decided to do some shopping because there's a baby involved, and Tisha lives uko Bali. That time I was dating some guy, by the way. I used to call that guy sweetheart. sweetheart or sweetheart, sweetie. Tulikuwa naitana kama sweetie. Yeah. So Sweetie was there. So I told Sweetie about it. Oh, Sweetie. Anyway. So yeah, so I told Sweetie about this chick, and I remember that time that my boyfriend was like, let me know when you're going, I can add you some money. So you know, saving my salary, of course I was going to do some shopping, like make the shopping, but I just needed some extra money because I didn't know how things were anyway. So because I was planning also to give her some pocket money. You remember this chick used to give me pocket money for so many years, you remember? Yeah. So I needed to give her something, even me when I got there, because I felt like she deserves more, and she, you know, yeah. Anyway, so I went that day, reached, I left work. I used to work even on Saturdays, so I was going there over the weekend. So I used to work on Saturdays, but half days where I was working. So I worked until 1, and then I left exactly at 1. I asked where I could get the Machakos matatus, and I was told where to get, is it matatus or Nissan, whatever, those matatus that go to Machakos. So I got the buses to Machakos, yes, and I went. I think Machakos, I don't, let me not lie how many hours it is from here, because I do not know. So I went to Machakos. I left here around, I think 2 or 2:30 or 3, I don't know. Yeah, because I got there very late, and there was traffic at is it Makutano Junction? There was just too much traffic on our way going. So I got there around a few minutes to 7. I was at a place called Sultan Ahmud. Is it? Yeah, a place called Sultan Ahmud. And then when I got there, I called her and told her, by the way, I'm at Sultan Ahmud, so what do I do? So she told me, when you're there, just get a motorbike, and then let me talk to the guy. How do you call people? Motorist? Something, yeah. So so she spoke to this guy, the guy who was, yeah, and explained to the guy the bike that I got, spoke to the guy, and then explained to the guy where the guy was to take me. So I just trusted this motor, whatever, the guy, the owner of the bike. I know I could Google, but forgive me, good people. So yeah, so I'm telling you guys, we went, like, it was too hilly, it was too dry, they say Machakos is dry. Yes, at that time when I went, it was dry, you know, dry, like it was really, really dry where we were going. And we got to a place, because it was too hilly, I had to get out, like get off the bike and then walk, because it was risky. Like the guy was just like, okay, here madam, atuwezi enda hivyo, itabidi umeshuka. Like I had to get off the bike and then walk for some few, like kilometers, not even a kilometer, but a few meters, and then got back to the bike, and then we kept on going. So I got to their place around 7 something. It was now dark. So when you go to when you get to a village where there is no electricity, you know, they use these tiny lights. In my mother tongue they call them nyangile. So but those two, just picture this, you know, this village. Yeah, they didn't have electricity, and yeah, so that's where I got to that home. The cows were sleeping outside, because I saw the cows outside. Yeah, that was the setup. So when I got there, I saw Tisha. Tisha was looking different. She shaved her hair. She used to have very long hair, very nice hair. She did cut her hair. It was very, very short, and there was nothing on it. Tisha used to like a lot of makeup. There was nothing like makeup. She never used to like skirts. She was wearing a very long skirt, a different Tisha. She became so skinny. I think she was stressed or something, but she became so skinny. Either the baby was taking a lot of milk from her. She was very, very skinny. And you know, the way when you see someone and you're like you feel sorry for them. It's like they're going through so much that I didn't know. And I met the mom, guys. Remember, Tisha told me that the mom passed away, and we never had that discussion about me meeting with the dad and the dad telling me that the mom is alive. I think she even forgot that she told me that the mom passed away in our conversation. And she told me, meet my mom and my grandma. The grandma was so sweet, but the grandma could not speak Swahili, so of course there was translation. I mean, they were just so nice. And then I met the baby who was learning how to walk, you know, and just, yeah. moving with stuff. That was the baby, and she was so adorable. Of course, I can't remember the baby's name, but yeah. So they were speaking their local language and most of the time, and yeah, so I was there. They had cooked for me. When I was going, I was hoping that Tisha would tell me the truth about everything that happened. But when I got there, seeing the situation on the ground, I didn't even care about that. I just wanted to be there for her. And I remember we spent a lot of time talking. I think we slept at around either 1 or I don't know what, but we were talking and talking and talking. As soon as the baby slept, we just kept on talking and talking and talking, and she was just telling me about how life is in the village. Like, she's trying to do this, she's trying to mentor, not really mentor, but teaching some schools in some kids in some school. Did I say some school in some kids? But yeah, she was teaching some kids in some school, and she's just trying to get her life together, and she's been thinking of coming back to Nairobi. And yeah, I just kept on listening to her, and we were just laughing, remembering our old days, how we used to party, and things just changed completely. And I can't believe that it was now me there, like, you know, and Tisha used to be there for me all that time. Now it was me, it was my time to be there for Tisha. And I remember that same night, before even I slept, I texted my boyfriend. Guys, about Sweetie. I told you about Sweetie, yes. I texted my boyfriend and told my boyfriend that, you know what, the situation on the ground is really, really bad. Of course, I didn't use that term because that one came just recently, but kwa ground vitu zilikuwa different. Like, things were totally different on the ground. And I told my boyfriend that if you can send me some money so that I can leave whatever, everything that I went with, I can give the money to Tisha, even my transport. So yeah, so anyway, thank God for this boyfriend of mine. He sent me money, so I was able to even top up whatever I had just to give Tisha, plus that shopping. And the next day we went to church. Yes, we went to church in their village. When we were back in Nairobi with her, she never used to really like going to church and all that, but when I went to the village, she was a totally different person. Very different. So anyway, in the morning we went to church. We woke up, the grandma was milking the cow, and it was fun. Like, it was, I mean, I enjoyed my stay there. And then we went to the church. This church, they were praying in Kikamba. So of course I wasn't hearing anything, but I just wanted to go with them to church because everyone was going to church, and she told me that everyone goes to church on Sunday. So I borrowed one of her skirts and I was able to go to church. And we got to church. I think we stayed in that church for either 2 hours. After that, guys, I was being introduced to the friends. She had new friends in the village, or rather, are old friends, and I met a couple of people. And yeah, after that, we went back home. I even met the brother, and we went back home. After that, I had lunch, and then I left and came back to Nairobi. But after that, we kept on talking, and I remember she even moved back to Nairobi and was working in some supermarket, just trying to, you know, to hustle for the baby and all that. And we kept on talking. We were still hanging out. Then I don't know what happened again. I think she changed her number or something, and she went missing just like that. Like, I don't know where she is right now. I don't know at all. I can't even remember the name of that village and that home. I have no idea. But that's how me and Tisha went, and that's how our friendship disappeared, just like that, or she just went like that. But this is someone that was super, super good to me, and I thank God for her. And something that I think in that whole story, nowadays when I have friends, I try to be different. Like, I don't want to be this person who you'll feel uncomfortable telling stuff. Like, I just, you know, that there are times that you can't really control that, yes, but I think I try to create a space whereby you can share with me stuff without thinking that I'm going to judge you. And something that I've also learned about myself is that sometimes I can be too judgy, which is not a good thing at all. And sometimes it scares people, and yeah, people won't trust you with stuff. But it's something that I'm still working on. I still work on that. Over the years, I've been working on since with Tisha's situation. So I don't know if that situation she just did, she was either not proud of the situation that was happening. I don't know. I really don't know. But when it comes to friendship, I really try to work on our friendship because I cherish my friends, because my friends from even this story or my channel, my friends have always been there for me. Like, sidanganyi, like hili kitu ya ukweli. My friends have always been there for me, and they are dear to me so long as you happen to be my friend. So we've come to the end of this video, my good people. I need to go and shower now, and all this is going to go down, you know. Meanwhile, I have Freedom over here, the baby I got in 2020. And yes, so thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you've gotten here and you haven't subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Kindly click on that amazing lady popping over there, you know. And until next time, my good people, kisses to you. Oh, kisses to you. Bye.